In this video, we're going to talk about another type of angle relationships, and it's angles that add up to special values. And one of those types of angle relationships are called complementary angles. And complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. And I have a couple examples of complementary angles below. So if you'll notice, in the first example, I have two angles here, a 30-degree angle and a 60-degree angle. And when you add these two angles together, you get 90 degrees. So these two angles would be called complementary angles. So two angles that add up to 90 degrees. In the second example here, I have two identical angles. Each angle is 45 degrees. And if I were to add these two angles together, I would get 90 degrees. So these two angles would be complementary angles. Another type of angle relationship is called supplementary angles. And supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. So again, complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180 degrees. And again, I give a couple examples here. Here I have a 57-degree angle right here, and a 123-degree angle here. And when I add these two angles together, I get 180. And you can kind of tell that when I kind of go through both of these angles, it makes a straight line and it gets that straight angle, which is 180 degrees. So these two angles would be supplementary angles. And again, here are two angles, an 80-degree angle and a 100-degree angle. And if I add these two angles together, I get 180 degrees. So these two angles would be supplementary angles. So are these angles complementary, supplementary, or neither? So looking at the blue angles here, I have a 40-degree angle, which is this angle right here. And I have a 30-degree angle, this angle right here. Now when I add these two angles together, 40 plus 30 is 70 degrees. So together they would form this larger 70-degree angle, which is neither 90 degrees nor 180 degrees. So this is not complementary or supplementary. It's neither. Next example, the orange angles. I have a 75-degree angle here, and I have a 15-degree angle here. And if I add these two angles together, I get 90 degrees. So these would be called complementary angles. And then the green angles, I don't have any angles indicated here. I don't know how big angle 1 is, and I don't know how big angle 2 is. But if you notice, if I put angle 1 and angle 2 together, they form this straight line right here. So when I put the two angles together, I get a straight line. So that tells me that they are going to add up to 180 degrees. So that means that these are supplementary angles. How can I use complementary and supplementary angles to solve problems? So in each one of these diagrams, I have a missing value and I need to find it. So looking at the green angles, I have x degrees and I have 28 degrees. Well, what is the value of x? Well, if you look, you can see this little red box in the corner. And that little red box means that this larger angle is 90 degrees. That means these two smaller angles inside of it must add up to 90 degrees. They are complementary. So I know that the angle that's x plus the angle that's 28 degrees add up to 90 degrees. So if I solve this equation, that will tell me what the value of x is. So x here is going to be 62 degrees. This angle is 62 degrees because I know the two angles are complementary. If you look at the red angles, I can see that this 123 degree angle and the 3x degree angle, when I put them together, they form a straight line. So I know that these two angles are supplementary. That means they add up to 180 degrees. So 3x plus 123 is 180 degrees. And if I solve this equation, I'll take away 123. 3x equals 57, and then divide by 3. X is 19. And then if you look at the blue angles, this one's a little bit more difficult to determine what these angles are, but I see this little red box in the corner here. That tells me that this is 90 degrees here, and that this 90 degree angle and the 2x degree angles, if I put all three of those angles together, that forms a straight line, or 180 degrees. That means I know that these two angles are also complementary, that they have to be 90 degrees as well, because the 90 and the 90 make 180. So I know that the two x's added together equal 90 degrees. That means 2x equals 90. And if I divide by 2, x equals 45 degrees. So I can use what I know about complementary and supplementary angles to solve for missing angles as well.